Good morning. What is going on? Hope you are well, wherever you are, whatever the time. We are here for meal number one because I'm going to be showing you a full day of eating. What a morning it's been so far. Regular one for me, checked in, which was good. Really happy with the check-in this morning. Definitely getting leaner. Back into the 93s as well, 93.9 kilos. What's funny is I was 97.5 kilos before I went to bed. So it's like a 3.5 kilo drop from the previous night, which is pretty insane. But today, for meal number one, we have 80 grams of ground rice. We have 45 grams of whey protein. We got 20 grams of dark chocolate. We then have 100 grams. Well, no, we don't. We have 10 grams of carbohydrates from fruit, which includes an array of raspberries, blueberries, and a small amount of raisins. We've then got a lot of cinnamon, 3 grams of salt, a rice cake caramel, and 5 grams of honey. This is almost 100 grams of carbs going in with this meal because it's my pre-workout meal. And in today's video, throughout the full day of eating, I want to be giving you some advice on how to manage your diet through a contest prep in order for you to get shredded, and also manage your appetite as well, because that's obviously something you want to manage. Obviously, you don't need me to tell you that hunger is a part of the process. You're going to feel hungry. It's unavoidable, but there are strategies that you can do to make it a little bit more manageable. You can make stupid choices, and in those stupid choices, increase the likelihood of you binging, which is obviously something that you don't want. So first tip in the morning is, if you're on a contest prep, hydrate and also caffeinate. If you just wake up and go straight into meal number one, in my experience with myself and with clients, I feel like that's only going to increase your hunger. If you wake up, hydrate first, caffeinate, take your time, don't immediately react to how you feel in the morning. Typically, that's going to help you hold your hunger a bit, which I've noticed has helped me big time. So this morning, I had my coffee, I done my check-ins, I cleaned the kitchen. I just got up and stayed a bit busier rather than getting up, not really doing much, just scrolling on my phone. It's only going to make you think of food even more. Anyway, pre-workout meal going down. I'm going to go to the gym, but I'm not going to show you that session. So I'll see you for the post-workout meal. I am back from the gym with this delicious bowl of oats for my post-workout meal, which is 60 grams of oats. We've got 60 grams of whey. We have 15 grams of dark chocolate, 90%, and we have 10 grams of raisins. Now, I would typically use some sort of berry in this meal, but you've caught me on a bad day. I've ran out of blueberries and raspberries. I ate the rest of them with my first meal. So raisins are going in for this meal. So these are pretty much the last of my carbohydrates for today. So first meal was about 90 something. It was like 95 or 6 grams of carbs. This meal is about 60 or 50-ish grams of carbs. So that's most of my carbs done. And the reason I'm placing my carbohydrates around my training window pre-workout is I found that that helps my performance a lot. I go into the gym with a lot more energy. And then post-workout, I still want to keep carbohydrates in there because I am going to be pretty depleted in terms of glycogen. So we just want to try and replenish that glycogen with carbohydrates. It's going to, again, help just pick me up. Also, post-workout, I am ravenous. Now, that works for me really well because I train first thing in the morning. If you're somebody who trains later in the day, you can essentially still have smaller carbohydrate meals, but allow your carbs to build up throughout the day. If you're training first thing in the morning and you notice that you haven't got much energy, place most of your carbohydrates before you train. That is a major key. You might find that if you do train later in the day, your first meal, rather than being carb heavy, could actually be zero carb, could actually be no carbs, because then you don't essentially have that almost crash that a lot of people feel later in the morning or in the afternoon after they have a big carb meal. A lot of the time, people will have improved cognition when they are on the lower carbohydrate end for their first meal. So high fat, low carb, or no carb, high protein in the morning. You'll also notice that I'm having oats as well. Oats will drop down a significant amount when I go through the process of carving up, but when I'm dieting and pushing for fat loss, oats are in play because they're very high in fiber. Fiber is going to help me feel fuller for longer. Also as well, when food is low, you want to try and keep your fiber intake high. It's going to help you go to the toilet. As food goes low, bowel movements are also going to reduce as well because you just don't have as much in your gut. So that's why you keep fiber in, either in the form of your food. So you're looking at your berries like raspberries or dates, prunes, that sort of thing, or looking at things like oats, potatoes. You're going to get a good amount of fiber and a lot of nutrition from those foods, even when food is relatively low. So that is my post-workout talk. I'll see you for meal number 3. No more carbs. And just like that, it is time for meal number 3. Just got back from my walk to get a few ingredients because I am cooking Bryony a tremendous meal. She'll probably see this video by the time she's had the meal. Well, obviously, I'm going to be cooking her some sweet potato gnocchi with some turkey and some chicken with a nice like cream sauce. I'm going to be making a gnocchi from scratch as well, so she's going to love that. But meal number 3, we have 4 bacon medallions, 2 whole eggs, 60 grams of frozen grapes. They're the best. They're so good. It's about 10 grams of carbs from the grapes. My final 2 meals are going to literally be chicken and veg. One of the meals will have part chicken, part egg white, but that's basically going to be the meals for the day. So we are pushing for more condition, getting sharper. I trained as well, had a pull session. It was a really good session. I think I'm leaner than what I was prior to going into my first show. Just trying to get a little bit more off. I do want to see another new low and get myself into the 92s and see how that changes the look. Once I'm in the 92s, I can decide whether or not the look is any better or if I'm just kind of diminishing at that. But anyway, this meal, if I was not training, this would probably be my first meal. Very low carbs, decent amount of fats, high protein. Having this with my coffee in the morning would just set me up really nicely for work. So if there's a check-in day, for example, that works really well, rather than having something relatively carb heavy like what I had today pre-training. Also, a little tip as well, I think having fats in your diet or keeping fats relatively decent is a good idea in a contest prep, especially just from a cognition standpoint, how you feel and how you sleep. I don't think it's a good idea for me to get down to the 20-30 grams of fat. It just makes you feel a different type of way, and really I just need to make sure my calories are low enough to take off body fat. I don't need my fats to be that low. As long as my carbs are in a decent place where I can sustain a decent level of training. So for me, as long as I can put some carbohydrates around my training, so as long as I can keep 100 grams of carbs around that training window, I'll be all right. I can struggle throughout the rest of the day in terms of hunger. It's just the sleep and the cognition effects that come with just not having a decent amount of fats in your diet. Can also have protein relatively high as well. Of course, that is going to help with satiety, but I think keeping fats in helps not only from a performance standpoint in terms of just your day-to-day life, but also it makes the diet a little bit more interesting. Who wants egg whites all the time? Who wants turkey mince? Who wants white fish all the time? Like, you can still have mince, you can still have egg yolks, you can still have salmon, and you can get shredded. It's just about the amount of calories that you take in. So that's why I got some fats in here. As I said, my previous 2 meals are going to be pretty much carbless, right? They'll have some fats in there. I will be having some dark chocolate with my chicken meal. In fact, I might actually add the dark chocolate to this meal because your boy wants some dark chocolate. So yeah, it's going to be with the chicken and vegetable meal. And that's going to be it pretty much for the day. I've got a few steps to finish and I've also got some client work to get on with, but not too much left to do for today. So gonna eat this meal and enjoy it, of course, and I'll see you for meal number 4. Meal 4, chicken and veg. And these char-grilled chicken kind of bites from Aldi are actually pretty damn good. Oh, it's 170 grams of cooked weight chicken, char-grilled. We have 100 grams of veg with 10 grams of classic enquire chili sauce. That is the meal. Really, really simple meal. And the next tip that I want to talk about was if you are somebody who has a very high food focus, and I'm talking about maybe you were a fat kid, or you've always just had this emotional attachment to food. In a contest prep, keep your food as simple as possible. Don't go messing around with loads of different recipes and making these weird prep concoctions, and because that's only going to elevate your food focus. It's almost only going to have you just looking too forward to your food. I'm not saying that I don't enjoy this food, but it's very simple. It removes my emotion and attachment from it because it's not this beautifully crafted meal. I think leave that to the off season, because in a prep, if you are very food focused, I can only make it worse. Keep your meals very simple. I wrote on Instagram the other day, on your meal plan, write out your meal plan. If it's not on that meal plan, you don't eat it. For a lot of people, even though it was satire, but for a lot of people, that's what they need. It's just a case of, this is what you're going to eat. If it's not on this list, don't eat it. Because again, if you delve into other things, making cheesecakes with whey paste and 0-calorie Biscoff bread, like, it's just, you're going to make your life harder. Gonna have this meal, and yeah. Also, speaking of food focus, I literally just released a reel that's talking about the current trend with everything I ate after my bodybuilding show, and it's basically a 60-second video of them eating about 15 different cuisines and binging. And I think it's silly. I think most of those people that are doing that, they're usually first timers, and they'll find in the days after that, they'll probably have a crash moment where they're a bit ashamed to get on the scale. They've got a lot of water retention, swollen ankles, bloated face. They probably won't post many photos of themselves. And in the moment, it probably feels quite fun. It's a laugh, I guess, because you've dieted for a while and it's all a very new experience to you. But the issues that come with that, not even just physically, but mentally, it can really mess you up, genuinely. And this is speaking from somebody who went through his first show and really struggled post-show. I gained a good amount of weight within a short period of time after my first season, just because it's something I'd never experienced before. And the last thing that I would have wanted to do is promote that behavior or almost glorify it. It's silly now. Every time you do a show, every time you compete in bodybuilding, every post-show experience will get better. You just learn more. And if you have any interest in being in bodybuilding long term, you absolutely need to learn about restraint and control after your show, because you won't last if every single time you compete, you just go off the rails and you just gain 10 kilos in a week. You're not going to last very long, because it's going to be so negative for you mentally. So that's a current trend that I don't really understand, but I guess because it garners so much attention on social media, it's just that dopamine kick, right? You see the likes rack up and you're like, yeah, like, oh my God, such and such finished their show and I can't wait to post that video because it's going to get so many likes and so many views. And oh my God, I'm so valuable because I get likes. It's just a silly thing. Meal 5 will be a little bit later. Finish this meal, cook for B. I got a call with a client in about an hour. So see you in a bit. With the final meal of the day, which is going to be, again, 0 carb. It is just mince and chicken. We've got 150 gram raw weight mince. Then we have 40 grams cooked weight chicken with 100 grams of veg, a bit of Worcestershire sauce. Again, for me, in the night, I'm not somebody who gets super hungry at this time of night. I could easily just not really have this meal and just go to bed, to be honest, or just have a protein shake. Like I don't need anything big during this time. Whereas there are some people who need a little bit more food in the evening because that's when their cravings are super high. You have to just go by what your preferences are. I do have clients where if they go 0 carb in the evening, then it impacts their sleep a little bit, because going to bed hungry for them impacts their quality of sleep and it gets them up in the night as well. Whereas for me, it's just absolutely fine. Getting up in the night is kind of normal for me now as well. It's not down to the hunger. It's normally just down to needing the toilet, to be honest with you. But I hope you enjoyed today's video. A little bit of a different style, a little bit more edited. So if you liked it, leave a like. If you haven't already, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.